Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for July 25th, 2024. We're going to be talking about some fantasy football topics, mostly Fool's Gold, which is players who are drafted late as sleepers, but are not going to pan out. And some of these players are going to be drafted as, like in a scenario where they could pan out, like if there's an injury or something like that. But we're pretty confident that these guys should not be drafted at all. So we're going to list our top 5 Fool's Gold fantasy picks on the show. And then at the end, of course, open up some Rainmaker packs as we usually do. So before we get to that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would help us out a lot, especially buying some of these t-shirts at the merch store. You can get a Gluttony Month t-shirt for $18.40. I think that's a steal. And Gluttony Month is in 8 days. Actually, as of in 44 minutes, it'll be 7 days. So make sure you get your Gluttony Month shirt because gluttony rights are human rights. It's very important to spread the word. So make sure you get your Gluttony t-shirts. It's coming up. Can't wait. Also, super chats, super stickers are a great way to help us out. Yesterday was the first time we didn't have any super chats, super stickers in like a few months, actually. So hopefully we get some tonight. And actually, because of some cursing that occurred last night, our YouTube ads didn't pay out either. So we basically worked for nothing yesterday. So yeah, I mean, you guys have been awesome in the past. Slew, John Sanders, Degeneron, Kevin Kovac, Germ. You guys have been so great. So any further contributions would be greatly appreciated. Also, you can go to Amazon to buy my book, Jerks of the College Years. If you like Jerks of the Week, you'll like Jerks of the College Years. It's the same thing, just from my stories. Back when I was at Penn State for 6 years, I had a hell of a time, and I met a lot of weird people like these 6 folks on the cover here. So without further ado, our co-host tonight, Kenny Ortiz, the owner of thecapsfake.com. Kenny, how's it going? And glad to have you back after last week's hiatus.
Oh yeah, we were out, and our power has gone out multiple times over the last week because we've been having wicked, as the New Englanders would say, wicked thunderstorms and lightning storms in Central Florida. But my Wi-Fi was out, and Spectrum. Anyway, that could be like a whole entry to jerks of the week. My dealing with Spectrum internet. Anyway, terrible. But other than that, life is great. Also, did you just say you didn't get paid YouTube ads because someone cursed on the show? I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, we had some cursing last night. Actually, we had cursing last night, and when I had my friend the Omniferal on, you know who he is. I don't want to say his name because he works for the government. I want to keep it anonymous. So he cursed as well. Like the last 2 times there have been cursing on the show, we've been demonetized from YouTube. So the usual 70 cents that we get through YouTube ads, we just did not get. So to make it up, maybe we can go outside and collect some change.
I did not realize. I will not be cursing, but I did not realize that if you curse, that's that you get demonetized. That's a bummer.
Yeah, no, it is a bummer for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna warn people next time. Next time those guys come on, not to curse. So we need the 70 cents here.
That's right. It's right. How else are you gonna pay for your bills? Come on.
Right, exactly. And by the way, tomorrow I lined up Andy Isco, our super contest proxy, to come on the show to talk about futures. Andy was a guest once last year, and I thought he was phenomenal. So I can't wait to talk to him. I was just texting him. So glad to hear that he's going to be on such short notice too. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. So we're going to be talking about fantasy football Fool's Gold today. I came up with 5 players. I didn't have any honorable mentions. Did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I got 2 honorable mentions.
Okay, let's. Who are they?
All right, my honorable mentions. I'll go quickly. First one is Dameon Pierce from the Texans. Dameon Pierce kind of had a little bit of a nice run, but he was obviously supplanted by Devin Singletary last year. It's obvious that the team doesn't think he's that great. And then they added Cam Akers, and obviously more importantly, they added Joe Mixon. And so I think if Joe Mixon were to go down, which would be a bummer because I love him, but if he were to go down, I think there would be people who would say, "Oh, look, Dameon Pierce used to be a starter," and I think his stock would rise quickly. But I think the team would find a way to try to look elsewhere, as we saw last year. So I think that would be fool's gold if Mixon were to go down. And And then the other one is Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham, he had some great moments in his career, probably the greatest catch in NFL history. He had a great couple of years, but he's been up and down and injury riddled and inconsistent. But if someone in Miami were to go down, I think people could say, oh yeah, Odell's going to be back to glory if there was opportunities there. If Waddle or Hill were to get injured, I think Beckham's ADP would shoot up. But I think that would be a mistake. I don't think he's going to be good no matter what. So I think both of those guys are guys that under certain circumstances, their ADP could just, skyrocket several rounds. And I think you would be sadly disappointed if you drafted either one of those guys.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see where they were going? Just kind of wanted to look at their ADPs.
Look it up.
Beckham, his ADP is 237 overall, and he said Dameon Pierce is 193 overall. Did you get
pretty much undrafted, right?
Yeah. Did you get any sense as to why the Texans were so interested in adding a running back? Like, they brought in 3 running backs or 4 running backs. They ultimately signed Cam Akers. And I thought, like, maybe Joe Mixon is banged up, but then I thought it's probably Dameon Pierce, and they just don't like him at all. So
yeah, it seems like they don't think he's good. I mean, they pretty much totally phased him out of the offense last year. By mid-season, 7 or 8 games in, he was pretty much becoming a non-factor in games. Mm-hmm. And Devin Singletary became the guy, like, exclusively. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I thought Dameon Pierce was fine, and when was that, in 2022? He was fine. He wasn't great, but he was okay. He was productive. But obviously, yeah, something happened. They clearly did not trust him, and seemingly made no effort to, like, make him a priority. So I think it was weird. I don't know. I don't know the reason why.
So I think it was Bobby Slowick, the offense coordinator, who came out last year and said that he just came out and told the media, he's like, Dameon Pierce is not a good fit for this offense. He said he's a good player. He just doesn't fit in this scheme that we're running. So that was kind of a sign that Devin Singletary was going to take over, and that kind of lends to what you were saying about Dameon Pierce being fool's gold. Yeah, I would never draft Dameon Pierce in a regular league. Like, even if you're in a very deep league, if you're drafting like 20 rounds, are you going to draft Dameon Pierce in the 18th round before you draft a kicker and defense? Like, I would not, So I just don't see a reason to do so. Slew says you'll need a 2-second delay and a bleep button for Nuggets. Yes. Have you listened to the golf show? I know you're not a golf fan, Kenny, no. But when we have Butters and Nuggets on, we have them on before each major. Nuggets goes a little nuts. He's so great. But we do need a bleep button there. But curiously, we've never been demonetized on a Nuggets show, so I don't really understand why. But anyway, and then Matthias says Pierce was a pile of crap last year. That's not fool's gold. not the other word. I'm not going to get demonetized, not yet at least. All right. All right, let's get into our top 5 fool's gold. You want me to go first because you did the honorable mentions? Okay. I'm going to go in reverse ADP order here. All the guys I'm going to mention are being drafted in the 11th or 12th round. So my number 5 guy is Gabe Davis. His ADP is 1210. It's kind of surprised that he's being drafted in the 12th round, but I guess people have not fully remembered or just realized how inconsistent he is. Like, Gabe Davis is someone you want in best ball because he can go off like 3 times a year. Like, you'll have monster games like 3 times a year, but the other games he'll have like 1 catch for 10 yards. And so I think that maybe people drafting him in the 12th round are thinking, hey, he's going to a new offense. The Jaguars lost Calvin Ridley. They don't have a number 1 receiver, assuming they don't like Christian Kirk, these people. So they're thinking maybe Gabe Davis is going to be the number 1 receiver or something, or at least the number 2. And maybe they forgot about Brian Thomas, the Jaguars' first-round pick. Yeah. So, or maybe they're like, oh, if Kirk or Thomas goes down, Gabe Davis is going to have a ton of opportunities with Trevor Lawrence. Either way, like in any of those scenarios, I just don't see that happening. Like I said, Gabe Davis is going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 games this year where he just goes nuts. And then the other games, he's going to catch 1 or 2 passes, and he's going to drive you absolutely mad if you want to play him in fantasy lineup. So I have no interest in drafting Gabe Davis just through the inconsistency. It's kind of, I don't know. It's pretty tilting to start a guy who gives you 1 or 2 points. He's a good guy to play in DFS and like the cheap lineups, like play like those $4 lineups that they have, those contests, because, if he goes off, first of all, he's cheap. And second of all, no one's going to play him. So that works. But in year-long fantasy, I don't want anything to do with him.
Okay, should I tell you now or should I tell you later that he is on my list? And
I mean, you might as well. Yeah, you want to add on to what I said.
Okay, I'm going to tell you now.
Okay.
Gabe Davis is my number 1 on the list.
Okay, there we go. Nice.
I agree with everything you said. I think people are going to just like remember a couple of the big highlights from last year, and I think he's totally fool's gold in that. Like, if he goes out and has one great preseason game, I could see his ADP going from where it is. I saw it on a couple of different sites. It's like 10th round in some one site, 12th round on another site. So in that range. But I could easily, if he goes on and has like one phenomenal preseason game, I think his ADP is like in the 7th round or maybe even higher, 6th round. Like someone's going to reach for him. And if Christian Kirk or if Thomas were to get injured in the preseason, like I could easily see Gabe Davis. Like if one of those guys gets injured and Gabe Davis has even a mediocre preseason, I bet in September he's going in the 6th round. Like that's what's going to happen. And don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And here's my analysis. Ready? He sucks. Don't do it.
He sucks. Yeah, I like it. Titan Maximum says Gabe Davis is a 3 at best. Yeah, pretty much. And Johnny Detroit says Jazz got BTJ and Kirk and Ingram and tight end as well. Davis is an afterthought. You would think so, but his ADP was, I said, on Fantasy Pros is 1210. Kenny saw a 10th round ADP for Davis. And I think Kenny's right. If Davis has a huge game in the preseason, I guess that would assume that he's playing in the preseason. Probably we may not see any of the starters, but if he does play in the preseason and he has like 2 big plays or something, he may skyrocket in ADP to like 6th, 7th, 8th round, something like that. So yeah, don't fall for it. Don't draft Gabe Davis. Let someone else do it, and then they'll probably release him by week 3 or week 4 when he does nothing to start the year.
Yeah, I even think like he's the kind of guy that people could get like kind of, oh, well, you know what? I can draft him in the 9th round because that's still good value. Like it's still like, no, don't do it.
Yeah, definitely not. Stay away from Gabe Davis. So glad we agree. I didn't know if we'd have any overlap, but interesting that right away we have one. So let's see if we have more. I know that you hate this guy. I just don't know if he's on your list. This is my next pick. It's Mike Williams. His ADP is 1204. Is he on your list?
I do. I've had a pretty big disdain for Mike Williams, but he did not make my list.
Okay. All right. So why is Mike Williams on my list? So first of all, he's going 12th round. So people are drafting him. He's coming off a torn ACL, and I hate drafting running backs or receivers coming off torn ACLs. I just don't trust him to stay healthy. And he's had such a huge injury history. It's not like this is the first injury he's ever had. There's been so many bumps and bruises on him throughout his career. Even if he comes back ahead of schedule, you just can't trust him. And I feel like people might be looking at this, like the ones drafting him in the 12th round, thinking, hey, I know he's coming off a torn ACL, but he's playing with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be the number 2 receiver once he comes back. What if Garrett Wilson gets hurt? He's the number 1 receiver at that point. And I feel like if there's any positive injury news, that 12th round ADP is going to go to 11th round to 10th round, maybe even earlier.
Yeah, I could easily see going higher.
Yeah, I just can't get behind that at all. He's just so inconsistent. He just hasn't proven that he can stay healthy at all. And even when he's healthy, he's inconsistent. And plus, he has no chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. And Rodgers is a type of quarterback who tends to lock in on one receiver. I feel like it has to be Garrett Wilson instead of Mike Williams. But, if Wilson goes down, he's probably going to throw more to Mike Williams, but then Mike Williams is just going to get injured again. So I can't trust it at all. He's not going to be someone I draft whatsoever.
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay. Cassandra says, I was surprised that Travis Etienne wasn't number 1 on Kenny's list. Well, I mean, what we're talking about, we're talking about late round guys, late round sleepers. Yeah. If we were talking about early round boss, I think ATM would be pretty high on Kenny's list.
Yeah. He was on my radar. Then I realized he doesn't really fit the criteria of this list.
Yeah. Yeah, what's ATN's ADP? It's let's see, he's 19th overall, so he's going in the second round. So I think we did a bust episode earlier this summer, and I think he was on your list, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, so Kenny definitely talked negatively about ATN. John says Happy Bean stayed away from Gabe Davis with that contract. I couldn't believe how much Gabe Davis got. I thought that was insane. So
yeah, I mean, the Jaguars have done that. I mean, they got money to throw around, I guess. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, when they signed Christian Kirk, I was like, what is this contract? And actually ended up panning out. So I don't know, maybe they're on something. Probably not, but maybe.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Lightning's not going to strike twice. Sue says Gabe Davis is going to love the return to warm Florida from chilly Buffalo and might shock the world, and then maybe not. Yeah, well, I mean, him shocking the world would be. I could see like Gabe Davis against Miami week 1 just going nuts, like having a huge game, and then everyone like tries to trade for him, spends their FAP on him. You know, if he's not drafted, everyone in DraftKings is gonna play him in week 2, and then he's gonna have like 1 catch in week 2, and then 2 catches week 3. Like that's just Gabe Davis in a nutshell.
That's how you. Yep, that's him.
Yep. Cassandra says, I think I misunderstood the premise here. Yeah, it's just late round guys who are being drafted, 11th, 12th, 13th, etc., where people are thinking, I might get something here, like a great sleeper, but it's not just fool's gold. It's just guys who won't pan out late. John Sanders says it's crazy that Gabe Davis got paid more than Saquon Barkley. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. And that's different positions, but still.
Yeah, running back position is just totally devalued, but it's stupid.
Yeah. Cassandra says the Kamala ad at the beginning of the stream ran long. I missed the intro.
What?
I've that's what people were saying yesterday. They were getting Kamala ads. She quote unquote raised 100 million yesterday. It was the frozen funds that just went to her. The froze 95 million funds that just went to her. So she has a lot of money to spend. So maybe she's a big fan of WalterFootball.com, despite me calling her some rude names on Twitter. So I don't know. But no, Cassandra, I know you were a fan of Andy Isco, my Super Contest proxy, who was on the show once last year. He's going to be on the show tomorrow, talking futures. So I'm definitely looking forward to that show. John says he'll shock the world once a month. Yeah, exactly. All right, that's definitely true. All right, Kenny, who's your? You gave your number 1. So who's your number 5 then?
My number 5 is one Mr. Rookie running back Blake Corum from the Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim. They or whatever they are called. I guess they're just Los Angeles, right? It's the
Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim of California.
Yeah. Where do they play? They don't even play in Los Angeles. They play in some other city, right? Anyway.
Inglewood, or whatever.
So I think Kyren Williams obviously is the guy. He's the main guy there. He's going to be a, first, second round pick, I would imagine, in all drafts, in all formats. But I could easily see like Blake Corum's national champion team, Michigan. They're well known. They spent a 3rd round pick on him, which is pretty high draft capital on a guy. And so I think there's going to be a sense of like, hey, if Kyren Williams falters even a little bit, I could see Blake Corum, like his draft stock going up and people jumping on him thinking they're getting a sleeper. But and I don't watch a lot of college football, but man, there's several guys I trust. I read their reports. This guy, everyone I know that I trust has said this guy should have been like at best a 5th round pick. That this was a terrible reach into 3rd round, and that he's actually not that good. And so, and the Rams have kind of a track record of kind of just riding one guy. Just kind of so like unless Kyren Williams really goes down with an injury, I don't know that there's a pathway for a guy like Corum to get any real playing time. So I could see this guy skyrocketing in a certain situation, and I think that would probably be fool's gold. I don't think he's actually going to be good.
Would you draft him at all?
I would not.
You would not. Okay. His ADP is 1007, which I think is way too early.
Yeah.
I would draft him like 12th, 13th round, just because Kyren Williams is so injury prone. I know Williams is dealing with some sort of ankle or heel injury. He's had a lot of foot injuries throughout his career, and he's still dealing with them. So there's a chance that he's going to miss some action this year. And so I would think that Blake Corum would get the touches. I just don't know how good he's going to be. Charlie Campbell projected him to be Kenneth Walker as the player comparison. However, Corum has some injury history as well. He dealt with a serious knee injury in 2022. So that could always, resurface or something. So I don't know. I like him better than you do, but I definitely think that he's going too early. And I think there's going to be some major hype because we've seen guys in the preseason just go off and then do nothing in the regular season. Like and he's going to get opportunities for sure in the preseason. Like what if he scores on a 60-yard touchdown in one of the preseason games? Like his ADP is going to go to like 8th round. That's just going to be that's like 10th round's already too early. I think 8th round's going to be way too early.
If Kyron Williams were to go down, tomorrow in training camp, Williams goes down, I hope not, obviously, but like if that were to happen, where does his ADP go?
I think he goes ADP. I think 3rd round or 4th round,
which I think would be a mistake. Okay,
yeah, I don't know. I think rookies get drafted too early to begin with. You just can't really trust them. Although I will say I hope you're wrong because I have a Blake Corum legendary card. So, well, like I said, we'll open up for some Rainmakers packs at the end. But yeah, I did luck into, or I don't know, maybe unluck into a Blake Corum legendary card. Nice. Let's see. Titanium says Kamala is dumber than a bag full of hammers. Yeah, I don't know.
Listen, I don't know about you. My hammers are pretty dang smart. I don't know you.
Yeah, it's an insult to hammers for sure. I read you that Bitcoin quote from Kamala, who's decided not to speak at the Bitcoin conference. Not to get off topic here, but it is. I wish I could
love getting off topic. What are you talking about?
That's true. Yeah, I actually do love getting off topic. So it is. I'll find it eventually. But yeah, it was quite the gem. Slew says, Cassandra, thank you. Missed that. Did she cackle for you? that is the worst. She seems so unlikable. I can't imagine her winning. I think she's a better chance than Biden, but I don't see it. I don't know. I know you don't really want to or can't really talk about politics. But
I can talk about something. Yeah, there's a limit, but
okay.
I mean, I generally don't. Yeah, I don't think. I would be concerned for our country if she's the president of the United States.
I would too. I just I think that would be awful. Here it is. The coin is a coin because it's a coin, and it's a bit of a coin because it's a Bitcoin, and the bit is in the name, and then after bit it's coin, so it's a Bitcoin because it's a Bitcoin. What do you think? What do you think about
that? I don't know what she just said, and I don't think she does either.
I know. All right. Cassandra says, "Oh yeah, really looking forward to Andy." And also, hi Kenny, you're okay too. John says Williams got 77% of the runs when he was healthy last year. Yeah, he was a workhorse for them, but his history of foot injuries is a concern to me. I had him pretty high in my rankings earlier. And just hearing that he's still dealing with that sort of stuff, even though like maybe it may not be serious at the moment, but it's just like lingering stuff. And I feel like he's definitely going to miss some games. I think they're like every running back has injury risk, but I feel like Connor Williams is definitely at the top. So unfortunately, because he's so talented, it's a shame. Sue says I'd consider drafting Corum as my 5th running back in a 12-team league. Good offense, and Kyra Williams is not that durable. Yeah, I think like I said, I would draft him 12th round or something like that, just as a flyer. But he's not going to get to me in the 12th round. There's just so much buzz with him.
Yep.
Okay, my number 3 guy. And this is weird because I gave 5, you gave 1, I gave 4, you gave 5. This is kind of strange. My number 3 guy is Jerry Jeudy. His ADP is 1203. So he came over to Cleveland in a trade, and I guess people are still expecting him to do well. Like he did absolutely nothing last year. In fact, in his career, he's been a huge disappointment, except for that one stretch at the end of 2022 where he just like had 3 or 4 games where he went off, and that sadly gave me some false hope for 2023, and he just was one of the colossal disappointments I thought last year. And I don't know why people are still drafting this guy. He's like, yeah, maybe Amari Cooper goes down and that would make him the number 1, but still, if you think about it, does it really matter? Like, it's Deshaun Watson. It's not exciting. And like Amari Cooper is just so much better, and he can produce with any quarterback. Like, we've seen that. Cleveland started some bums last year, like Philip Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and Cooper still did well. I don't trust Jerry Jeudy to do to do anything of that nature with those guys, including Watson. Now, if the Browns had a quarterback who was really talented, or maybe Deshaun Watson of 2020 and prior, then maybe you could talk into Jerry Jeudy in the 12th round. But even still, this guy's just done nothing and has been a huge disappointment. He's dropped lots of passes. It just feels like he doesn't try hard all the time, and I don't know why that will suddenly change in Cleveland. Yeah, maybe a change of scenery will do him some good, but I have no interest in drafting Cleveland's number 2 receiver at all. What do you think about Jerry Jeudy?
I think that's a good one. I think that's probably, you're right. If Amari Cooper were to go down and get injured, Judy's ADP would see it go up significantly pretty quickly. And I think you're right. People, even if Cooper's healthy the whole year, I think people could convince themselves into that Judy's going to be better. He's a steal. He's a sleeper. And, we see this every year around this time, from late July through August, that there are certain players that they end up getting a lot of buzz in training camp, and people kind of convince themselves this player is going to be better. And we see their ADP kind of just slowly drift up. Mm-hmm. I think Jerry Jeudy could be that kind of player. Actually, Mike Williams, who you mentioned, I think they're very similar in some ways in that, they both are the type of players that I think a lot of people want them to do good. Yes. That goes back to their draft stock and, moments of success they've had in their career. So yeah, it's interesting. I didn't think of either one of those guys, or Williams on my radar a little bit, but yeah, I didn't really think about Jerry Jeudy. I think he easily could be the kind of guy that could be fool's gold.
Yeah. John says I overdrafted him last year thinking he'd be Peyton's new Michael Thomas. I did too. I got fooled by him by that finish in 2022. I just can't trust him anymore at all. And even worse, I bought his Rainmaker card, it was a Rainmaker card. And that did not produce anything for me, unfortunately. So, all right. So who's your number 4?
All right. My number 4 is Mr. Ty Chandler. I didn't look up his ADP because I'm a lazy turd.
I think it's let's see. It is 1206. I was looking at him. I didn't have honorable mentions, but he may have been one of them. So yeah, go ahead.
I think a lot of people, he had moments where the stat sheet looked good, but you go back and watch him, he's just not. He's got one move. He's kind of the shot of a cannon kind of guy, accelerates quickly, and if he's got a wide open hole, he'll hit the hole and he'll just run through it, but that's it. And so I think I'm surprised his ADP is actually that low. So maybe I would assume his ADP would have been 10th or 9th round, because I feel like whenever I talk to people about him, people like him a lot. I feel like I've heard people on Twitter. This is what kind of influenced me. I've heard people on Twitter, or I guess Reddit. I've not heard it with my ears. I've read it with my eyes on a platform that used to be known as Twitter. I've read people say things like, "Oh, if Aaron Jones, goes down, Chandler's going to be, he's going to be, he's one injury away from being a top, RB1." I feel like I had several people on social media that have said those kind of things, and I just if people actually believe that, if Aaron Jones were to go down, or Aaron Jones, seems to falter in the preseason, and Chandler has a great preseason, if people are if Chandler starts to drift upward through the preseason and people are drafting him, I think you're going to be sadly mistaken. Even if Aaron Jones go down and Chandler's the number 1 guy, I just think that means that team's not going to be able to run the ball. I think that's the scenario. If Chandler's your number 1 running back, I think you're going to just struggle to run the ball and not be very effective in the goal line. And then Chandler's just not going to be a productive running. I don't see any scenario under which Chandler is a viable starting running back in fantasy in 2024. But I do see a scenario where other people will think he is. So that's why I think he's my number 4 fool's gold.
Yeah, I'm not too high on Chandler. I'm more bullish on him than you are, but I still don't like him very much. And it's more the scenario in Minnesota. It's a couple of things. First of all, the Vikings don't seem to run block very well. They pass protect really well. Their run blocking is just not very good. And then also, this team is just not going to have a lot of leads. They're going to be starting either Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy. Their defense is a huge work in progress. They lost their pass rushers. They're moving to a new scheme. I like Brian Flores, so maybe late in the year, once everything starts to gel, their defense is going to start playing better. But I think overall, this team is just not going to have a lot of leads, so they're not going to be able to run the ball. So even if Aaron Jones goes down, which you would expect given his injury history, at some point Chandler is going to start. Like Chandler's just not going to have many good games unless it's a great matchup or something. If Chandler is the starting running back at some point when if Jones gets lost for the year or something, I feel like he's not a guy you can start every week. Now, like if you have a great matchup, like he's very matchup dependent. Like you're going to plug him in. But if it's like a mediocre or tough matchup, I feel like you're just not going to play him. You'd rather play other guys.
Yeah, I don't see any scenario where I'm going to want. I mean, if I'm starting Ty Chandler at some point in 2024, then that means my team has gone woefully wrong. It's like something has gone bad.
Yeah, it's certainly not ideal. Sue, however, says Chandler 4.5 yard per carry last year. That's decent, Kenny, right?
But I rest my case.
All right. What'd you say?
That was it.
Okay. All right, my number 2. This is a receiver who's dropped because he's lost his status as a top 2 receiver on his team, or at least people think. But he's still going early, and I think that people are like, okay, if someone goes down, one of the top 2 receivers goes down, he could still be pretty good, and they might have member berries about this guy. It's Tyler Lockett. His ADP is 1109. So Jackson Smith-Njigba's there. He had some bright moments as a rookie, and you'd have to expect that he's going to take a big step in his second year. Obviously, DK Metcalf's there too. And then Tyler Lockett's the third receiver at this point, and I feel like he's almost an afterthought when everyone's healthy. But like I said, if Metcalf or Jackson Smith-Njigba go down, suddenly he's going to be number 2 receiver again, and I think that's why he's going in the 11th round. His ADP, as I said, 1109. But there are a couple things here. First of all, I don't think Seattle's passing offense is going to be nearly as good as it's been the past couple of years. First of all, they lost. They lost their 2 offensive coordinators. They lost Dave Canales from 2022, who really did a great job of reviving Geno Smith's career. And then it was Greg Olson last year. So now they have someone new, just don't know how this is going to pan out. And then second, their offensive line lost all 3 interior starters. So their pass protection is not going to be nearly as good. The right tackle also, Abraham Lucas, like he's dealing with injuries. He's not healthy at all. And they had to sign a veteran to maybe take a spot. So except for left tackle, which is pretty set with Charles Cross, like they really don't have much on the offensive line. So Geno Smith, I feel like is going to take a major step backward, and that's going to affect all the receivers. Maybe not so much Metcalf, but the other 2 for sure. Also, Tyler Lockett's 31, and he's a receiver who relies on speed quite a bit. Now, receivers tend to decline at 31 unless they can run like extremely great routes. Jerry Rice, the greatest route runner of all time. He played till he was 41, which is crazy, and he was really productive at 40, which is insane. And Anquan Bolden, another example. Like he played into his late 30s. Like Tyler Lockett's not one of those guys. He's a speed guy, and at his age, it could just be gone this year. So 11th round seems like way too early. Like Lockett's not even on my radar as a draftable player at this point. I don't know why he's going in the 11th round, but he's my number 2 guy.
I'm not sure I agree, but I'm not sure you're wrong either. I can't make a strong case. I think everything you said is right. There are just certain players that you're not really rational about, that you just sort of like. There are just certain guys I always kind of had a man crush on.
Yeah.
And I've always had like a kind of a light man crush on Tyler Lockett. So you're probably right. You're probably like, your arguments are sound. Like I was thinking, I'm like, everything you're saying, like, can I argue against that? No, probably not. Other than to say, I just like Tyler Lockett, so I hope you're wrong. But you might be right. How's that for analysis? There's certain guys that kind of have a soft spot for it. He's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, one of the first things I said about Lockett is the member berries. Like people,
You're exactly right. I'm guilty of it.
remember Tyler Lockett. I remember Tyler Lockett. But, at some point he has to stop playing well, and I think the age and the circumstance of the offense, I think it's just too much. I feel like Seattle is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year. I bet they're under. I can't remember what exactly it was. I know we're not allowed to talk about betting, but I bet Seahawks under 7.5 wins. I think they probably win 4 or 5 games.
I've always thought Geno Smith sucks, and I thought he has been fool's gold. So it would not surprise me if this team is terrible and they're drafting at the top of the draft, looking for a new quarterback next year.
I just released. You're gonna laugh. I just released my 2026 NFL mock draft today. And I have Geno. I have the Seahawks drafting number 2 overall, taking a quarterback. So
totally not surprise me. I think that's
yeah
more likely than not.
I think what happens is like they have a bad year this year, and they chalk it up to the new coaching and stuff, and they try to run it back next year with Geno Smith, unless they're like in a position to get Shedeur Sanders or something, and then in 2025, once they fail again, they'll be like, okay, we have to just blow everything up. I think that's how it's going to go for them. All right. Sue says Seahawks start 2-0 and all downhill from there. Yeah, they played Denver in week 1. So they should be able to win that game. Denver also one of the worst teams in the NFL. And then after that, they play New England. They're at New England, though. It's an early start time. So that could be a hindrance to Seattle. It's a new coaching staff, so they have to figure that out. Like the East Coast trip. I know that was the Kenny special we used to call it. Right?
That's right.
So yeah, they have to worry about that. It's again new coaching staff, and then after that they play Miami. Then they're at Detroit. Then they host the Giants, so that could be a win. Then they play the Niners. They're at Atlanta. They host the Bills. They host the Rams. They're at San Francisco. They host Arizona, which Arizona always gives them trouble for some reason. Then they're at the Jets. They host they're at Arizona. They host the Packers. They host the Vikings, should be a win. They're at Chicago, and then they're at the Rams. So overall, pretty tough schedule after the first 2 games. But even like the week 2 game is not a guaranteed win. New England has a good defense, I think. Like yeah, they're starting either Drake May or Jacoby Brissett with no receivers and a bad offensive line. But that defense will give the Patriots a chance to win that game. But yeah, it gets a lot tougher after that, except for the Giants game. So I agree. I think that they're in for a rough season. Under 7.5 wins seems so great. I don't understand why that number's so high. I guess the member berries, because they did go 9-8 last year, and they've been. I
think generally the general public, especially the betting public, they have a particular view of Geno Smith in particular that I think is inaccurate. Like I think he's grossly overrated.
Yes, I agree. He's been coached so well the past 2 years, and now. Who knows? Maybe these new guys are good. I just don't know what to make of them. It's just a brand new coaching staff. Ryan, it's the OC's Ryan Grubb. He's from Washington. I don't know. I just straight from college guys. You just don't know how they're going to do, and it's the first time head coach. So I feel like there are going to be some growing pains there, and I think Geno Smith's going to fall back to earth. All right. Who is you're up to number 3, right? Yeah. Who's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is Mr. 1 Gus the Bus Edwards.
He's my number 1.
He's your number 1.
He's my number 1. There you go.
Okay, I don't know if anyone calls him Gus the Bus. I don't know if that's the nickname or not. I just said that I just came up with that, I think. He's the 39th running back off the board. So you're not like, I mean, he's like, I saw one site I saw he's a late 9th round pick. Fantasy Pros has him as a late 10th round pick.
I have the updated ADP's 1103.
Okay, so that's later than I even thought. But he's easily the kind of guy, like, because there's no clear-cut starter in the minds of the general public. Although you and I both agree that J.K. Dobbins is clearly the better player there, and we are all over him going into 2024. Mm-hmm. I keep buying J.K. Dobbins Rainmakers cards like they're going out of style. Nice. And so, I easily think this is the scenario where people are going to be going into the preseason. If Gus Edwards has a good preseason, I could easily see people reaching for him a little bit, thinking they're getting great value. Like people are going, oh my gosh, his ADP is 11th round. I can get the starting running back on a Jim Harbaugh offense. I can reach a little bit and get him in the ninth round. And then someone else is gonna be like, well, maybe I can reach a little bit, get him in the eighth round. That I could easily see him drifting throughout the course of the year, and particularly with J.K. Dobbins' injury history, I could easily see the Chargers wanting to maybe give Gus more of the carries in the preseason or in the training camp. Like maybe start J.K. Dobbins a little softer, not softer, a little slower. I could see that happening, and all the buzz being about Gus the Bus, and then people just overdrafting him. So now, and then also, God forbid, if J.K. Dobbins were to go down, which I hope that's the case, based on the amount of stock I've got in him going in, and it would be a bummer for him, obviously. If Dobbins were to go down, then I think you would see Gus's ADP go up significantly, but in a way that I think would be I think it would be a bust. If you draft him in the 5th or 6th round because he's the only running back there, I think you're going to be sadly mistaken by the end of the year. So I think Gus Edwards is a prime candidate for fool's gold.
Yeah, he's my number one guy. I totally agree with everything you said. Did you hear what Daniel Jeremiah said about the Chargers running back situation? And
No.
I think it's significant because for two reasons. One, Jeremiah he does Chargers radio broadcasting. And second, he knows some of the former Ravens guys who came over. So he has some sort of, inside info here with the Chargers now. He said that if you're playing fantasy football, make sure you have J.K. Dobbins on your team, because he is going to be a star in that backfield if he can stay healthy. He's like, yeah, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a star on the team. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I completely agree with everything you said. And even if Dobbins goes down tomorrow, Gus Edwards' ADP is going to skyrocket. I still wouldn't have any interest in him because he's not good. He had that guy. He had opportunities in Baltimore, and he just did nothing with them. And Baltimore had a great offensive line, and it's not the case anymore because they lost 3 starters. But beforehand, when Edwards had his chances, he just wasn't doing anything. So why would he suddenly do something with the Chargers? It just doesn't make sense. He's not a pass catcher out of the backfield. The Chargers offensive line has some good pieces, some great pieces potentially if Joe Alt can stick at right tackle, but even still, it's not like Gus Edwards has been on bad teams and with bad offensive lines, and you're like, okay, he hasn't had a real chance yet. Maybe he can do something with his career. No, he's had great opportunities and he's done nothing with it. He's a mediocre RB2. That's exactly what he is. I feel like I just have no interest in owning him regardless. Even like I said, even if Dobbins went down tomorrow, I still wouldn't draft him in the 11th round, even though his ADP would be 6th round or something. Even if he got to me in the 11th round, I would have no interest because Kamani Vidal might be the starter. Edwards is so pedestrian that there's no need to have him on your fantasy roster.
100% agree. This is brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant analysis.
I like that we have 2 agreements. That's pretty cool. I didn't know what you'd have. You didn't know what I have, but we have 2 out of 5 that we agree with. John says, I hate both the Harbaugh brothers, so no Chargers or Ravens on my team. Makes sense. Yeah, you don't want them. It's not like these teams have great fantasy options at the moment outside of, we have Zay Flowers with Baltimore and Mark Andrews with Baltimore. With the Chargers, I feel like one of the receivers is going to be great. We just don't know which one. I guess my favorite is Joshua Palmer, non-PPR, or Ladd McConkey in PPR. And then we like Dobbins, but he has an injury history. So there's really not much with these 2 teams. And I don't know if you saw the report about Quentin Johnston recently. Did you see it? I was kind of I know we talked about news reporting on
try
the
to
show.
ignore them.
Yeah, you try to ignore them. I was kind of curious to hear your thoughts on this one, whether you buy it or not. Where is it? Let's see. I can't quite find it. It's Quentin Johnston is running with the second team in practice. He's not featured in the 3 receiver sets.
Well, I mean, the fact that he sucks, that fits.
Right. Right. So I
I'll buy that one.
going into the season, I thought he was a first round pick last year, and yeah, he was horrible last year. But I thought, there have been guys who've sucked their rookie year and blossomed later. That's happened before. I thought maybe given his potential as a former first round pick, I thought that he's worth a shot in the late rounds, but I can't do that now. So
yeah, I have a tough time having any confidence in him. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him play a lot, but the little bit I've watched, I'm just like, I don't see anything special with this guy.
Yeah, he's definitely the worst of the receivers in that first round. Let's see. Sue says Dobbins is like the brilliant racehorse that cannot stay sound. Yeah, well, hopefully that turns around this year, because he tore his ACL 2 years ago. And guys who come back the next year, they typically get re-injured. They re-injure something, either their knee, or they get a new injury or on their foot or something. He tore his Achilles. So it's a second year that they come back, and they're usually pretty good. So we'll see. Like, he is a big injury risk, but like, you're getting him late. Like, his ADP is pretty late. It's 146 overall, which is 1302. I like, he's definitely worth the risk there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been buying his Rainmaker cards up like they're going out of style again. I
really wanted his supercharged Rainmaker card. And we talked about it on the show. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. And then I don't know if someone was listening to us, but someone bought it like that night. And I couldn't find it the next day. I'm like, I was so heartbroken. So yeah. John says, wow, he showed enough to make the second team. It's a good, yeah, that's true. He's not on the third team or anything like that. All right. So who is your number 2 then? That's the only guy we have missing.
my number 2 is my last one. That's right. It's funny because I went out of order here. Okay. Okay, this guy's not being drafted really. He's undrafted pretty much, but I could easily see him like going up several rounds if something were to happen. And that is Mr. Alexander Mattison. Again, I just think he sucks, but I think most people think he's better than what I think he is. Like, on a scale from 1 to 10, I think he's a 2. And I think the general fantasy public thinks he's like a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there was an injury, if White were to get injured ahead of him on the Raiders, or if Madison were to have a great preseason or training camp reports, like because Madison has a little bit of a kind of a pedigree, so to speak, he's a known commodity. His name's been around fantasy for a while. There's a little bit of that member-berry effect, I think, to some extent. I easily think, under the right circumstances, a month from now, we could look up and see Madison going in the 10th round. Like, I think that's not a crazy scenario. And I think everyone who does that will seriously regret it. And I guess partly because I don't think White's very good. I think he sucks as well. So I actually think it's likely that Madison is going to get some play in the preseason or in training camps. And that I'm willing to bet, I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I would be willing to bet that Madison, by the end of August, will be on a lot of people's fantasy radar as a great value. People will be saying, oh man, can you believe you can get him in the 12th round? He's probably going to be the starter. Oh my God, you got to give him in the 11th. No, you got to give him in the 10th. And just the runaway effect that we see with certain players. I think Madison's the kind of guy that can easily be that. Now, if I'm wrong, if he ends up being totally undrafted, then if you draft him if you get him, in the last round, or you pick him on the waiver wire, it's like, who cares, right? When it doesn't matter. But right. I think I have a suspicion that he's going to drift upward in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, all it takes is some negativity about Zamir White, and then suddenly people will be like, "Oh, Alexander Madison," and you brought the member berries, which is perfect. People will remember him being productive behind Dalvin Cook at times, not when he had his chance to start, but like late in games when he would come in and the defenses were already tired. That's when he was shining the most. So, yeah, I think you're right. Like, if there's some negativity about Zamir White at all, and I'm not a big Zamir White fan either, then you're definitely going to see that. And understandable that I'm not a Zamir White fan. I told you the story about how I made the swap from James Conner to Zamir White in week 18, and it cost me Cost me $52,000. Just a slight chunk of change there. So Zamir White is not someone I like at the moment. I think he's just okay. I think he can be an average back at best, but yeah, you might see some negativity, like I said. So Madison right now is ADP's 18th round, but he could start to creep up depending on what happens in training camp.
Yeah.
We had some questions here. Dick Togo asking, bigger TCU receiver bust, Jalen Reagor versus Quentin Johnston. Reagor over Jefferson has a sting to this very day. Kenny, you know that very, very well, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, Johnson's career is still, I mean, he's only in year 2, right? So it's totally unfair to Reagor is clearly a terrible bust. The fact that he was selected one pick ahead of, the guy who will go down. I mean, Justin Jefferson will be, one of the best receivers of this era. He's got Hall of Fame type trajectory, or very close to. Justin Jefferson won't need much more to be like a Hall of Fame resume. Jalen Reagor has, 1 touchdown in his career. So, obviously that's painful as an Eagles fan, very painful.
Yes, although they have great receivers now, so
right,
it ended up working out, I suppose. But you would still go back in time and make that switch, right?
Yeah, because if they select Justin Jefferson, and then the next year they have Devontae Smith, which maybe they don't draft Smith, maybe they draft Micah Parsons, and that's why I don't know. But I would rather have Justin Jefferson and Devontae Smith, and as much as I love AJ Brown, I would rather have had that first and third round picks to use somewhere else. You could say they have great receivers now, and they do. The Eagles do, and that's great. But that sort of pick, taking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, will always have negative. That's a negative, no matter how it worked out. That was bad. That was terrible.
If they drafted Jefferson, you're right. They probably draft Micah Parsons instead of Devontae Smith, and then maybe they still trade for AJ Brown. So the receiving core would be AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson, and they would have Micah Parsons rushing the passer on the other side of the ball. That would be pretty good, right?
I can't.
You can always do these.
Thanks, Dick Togo. Thanks.
To answer Dick's question, I mean, obviously, Johnston is not cemented as a bust yet, although definitely looking that way. So you can't really say it's Johnston yet. However, if Johnston plays the same way as he did, you'd have to say it's Johnson, because Reagor at least can return kickoffs. He's done that, so at least he's has a functional role on a team, whereas Johnson doesn't even have that. So yeah, it's not looking good for Johnson, but it's still early in his career. Maybe he can turn it around. So it says Kenny doesn't have to convince me. I suffered through Madison last year. Yeah, I think I did as well. I had a bunch of his Rainmaker cards, and it was not pretty. John asking, is there any free agent running back worth taking a late flyer on? Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook, Josh Kelly. Hunt and Cook both looked washed up last year, so I just don't see anything with them. I wish I had a list of the free agent running backs, but I mean, they're free agents for a reason, right? If they were functional players, they'd be on a team probably. So I off the top of my head, I can't think of one. Can you at all?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But like I said, if I had a list, maybe, but I just don't know. Sue's saying, I wonder if Sanders has Chase Claypool on his draft board, since he is excluding all Ravens Charger receivers. Yeah, you gotta go after one of those veterans the Bills have secured. John says the Titans trading AJ Brown doesn't get talked about as one of the dumbest moves of the last 5 years. Well, it got their GM fired. Remember that Eagles Titans game where AJ Brown went nuts and then the GM got fired the next day. That was a dumb move for sure. And then John says, no, I'm drafting Diggs first round. LOL.
I'll do it.
Yeah. All right. That's it for our topic, the Fool's Gold topic. So cool that we agreed on 2 of them without even knowing. I had a feeling that you would definitely agree with Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, and then Gus Edwards. I wasn't quite sure about Lockett. And Jerry Jeudy, I feel like I could probably talk you into that. So that's what I thought heading into this, but I didn't know if you'd have them on your list. So yeah, like I said, pretty awesome to agree with the two of them.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll be avoiding the same guys in our fantasy league, but we've been in a fantasy league together every year since 2000. So it's we will not be drafting any of these guys if one of our league mates are listening. All right, so do you have any Rainmaker packs to open?
I do. I have 3 actually.
Okay, I have 1. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to open?
You already got the screen open, so go ahead and do yours, and then we can. Okay. I'll do my 3 consecutively.
Okay, let's see. Let's go to portfolio, which I'm already in. Let's go to packs. This is a rookie debut pack. You can see this, right? Okay. John Sanders, 411. Great show, guys. Enjoy your digital card thing. Thank you so much, John.
John.
Rebounded from yesterday's goose egg, but yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, John. You're one of the best on here. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sue says, WalterFootball fantasy ranking comment 2022. Nobody can cover AJ Brown. I got him in the 5th round to finish second in that league. Yeah, 5th round. Wow, that's a great steal for AJ Brown that year. So
I know, man. Well, yeah, he had a great year.
Yeah, he's fantastic. All right, let's open up this pack. Let's look at the last pack that was open. It was a 449. All 3 Cora cards: Bo Nix, Blake Corum, Lad McConkey. That is an awful pack. Let's hope that I do better than what's his face. It was this Marty 41 411 43. Sorry, Marty. I hope I do better than you. All right, so let's do this. So again, this is all rookies. There's an instant win here. I've only gotten 1 instant win in my pack opening career. You have a 50% chance of getting a rare, so you want the rare. If it's all cores, you're not going to make your money back. If it's a rare, you definitely have a chance to do so. So hoping for Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. Those are the 4 primary guys who are worth money on here. So without further ado, here we go. Come on, rare. All right, we got a rare. All right, so first core. Any predictions on these 3?
I feel like it's going to be. I think neighbor. You're going to get Malik Neighbors. I feel it. I feel Neighbors.
Okay, let's go.
You'd be happy with that, right?
Oh yeah. Blake Corum. All right. Well, I'm 1 for 3 and matching Marty. Yeah, I'm matching Marty's pack here. I got a rare at least, but yeah. So Blake Corum, I don't hate him as much, and this is a good guy to have in the preseason. You have preseason contests to win packs. It's a fantastic card for the preseason, So, all right, pack card number 2. If it's McConkey or Nix, I'm in trouble. It's a Roma Dunze, who's okay. He's decent. If either Allen or Moore goes down, then this is going to be much better. This is another. I mean, most of these rookies are going to be great for the preseason, but I feel like Odunze is going to get a ton of run in the preseason. So I like this as well. All right, rare. What is this? What do you think I'm getting? You said Neighbors, right?
This Malik Neighbors. I feel it.
All right,
it's coming. I sense it.
Go. Malik Neighbors. Blake Corum. Blake Corum rare. I should have known. We crap talk Blake Corum on the show. So
the probability of you getting 2 Blake Corums just feels so low.
I know. I don't know how many like I could probably calculate the odds. I just don't know how many different players there are on here. Like there are the 6 quarterbacks, the 1 tight end. I think there are 10 receivers. So that's 17. I just don't know how many running backs there are. So you could probably calculate it. I don't have all the data, but let's see if I made my money back. I'm willing to bet Blake Corum's going for, what do you think, $8, $10 for the rare?
I would think the rare is $10 probably.
Okay, let's see.
The core is like $2, $2.50.
Okay, so Blake Corum floor price is $14.85. Top offer is $8.64. So you could probably sell it for $11.99. I always do it. I like doing the $99. People tend to do that more. So for $12, I could probably sell it. And then $2 here says 14, and then $1.30. So 15.30. I paid 24 for this. So that's I did not make my money back, but I did not lose a lot of money. So it could have been worse. At least
it could have been worse. That's right.
Yeah, John says you should probably start with this card thing so you don't curse yourself. That's true. Although it is it's based on the order in which packs are open. So no one opened one since 4:00. So it would have been the same. But I know what you're saying. But like if someone else opened it, then my pack would have been different. Like it doesn't matter which pack you have; it matters in the order in which they're open. Okay. You have 3 packs, correct? So
all right, I'm pulling them up here. Pull
Okay.
up my packs here, and all right, let me share my screen. Present.
By the way, look at all my Tony Finau's. You think I'm high on him in this tournament?
It seems like it.
They're only $13. I was like, I'm going to put him in every elite lineup and see how it goes, and watch him withdraw due to injury. All right. So you got what do you got here? You got Booster Pack Volume 1.
3 booster packs. Yep.
Okay.
I paid $2, and $2.15 maybe for one of them.
Okay.
So,
and they're 50% chance of getting a rare.
Yep, they're 3 cards, 50% chance of one being a rare.
Okay.
So I got 3 of them. And a grand total $2.15.
All right. Well, first pack, unfortunately, all cores. But hopefully you get Mahomes, AJ Brown. Well, Dontavian Wicks is
okay.
Not bad. Not bad.
He might be worth 23 cents.
The minimum is 20 cents. Antoine Whitfield. So
defense.
You have Tampa Bay defense. You need defense in these old contests. So
yeah. Okay. Still probably worth about 20 cents in the open market. All right, let's go.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's a good one.
He's probably worth 40 cents on the open market.
Yeah, probably. So you got 80 cents out
of. Let's see what the value of these are. Wrong thing. All right, I got Wicks is worth 30. Win defense 33. Olave 40 cents.
As you said,
So
you almost got $1.
Almost got $1. Yeah.
You didn't get a rare, so you can't make your money back if you don't have the rare. So I don't know why they just don't give everyone rares. It just feels so cheap.
Yep.
But
all right. So I spent $2 on that one. Okay.
All right. This is a good one. Yeah. Okay. Maybe not. But you can still get good players. Javonte Williams too. This would have been looking good 2 years ago. But there was another report saying that he's on the roster bubble. Luke Musgrave. I can't remember which Packer tight end's injured. One of them is injured right now, but it's not as serious. I don't know which one it is.
I think these between the two of them, it might be worth 50 cents.
Yeah. Oh
gosh,
it's the worst. It's the worst one we've seen yet. Matt Collins. Ugh. I mean, if you think about it, last year he was a starter heading into the season, so I don't know if they adjusted his the cards each have a designation. Look at the floor price of Matt Collins, 38 cents. Not that you can sell it for that, but
these cards are worth 60 to 70 cents between them.
Yeah, no, what I was saying was each player has a designation. They're either QB1, solid, skill starter, key reserve or something, or whatever. They have a couple of things there. Matt Collins was listed as a skill starter. Not sure where the skill comes from, but he was a starter.
Side note: I got a T. Higgins elite card for $15.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Which I couldn't believe. I just I felt obligated to buy it because it was just so cheap.
That's really good. Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, you could play that up in a legendary contest if you get that far. All right,
here we go. Last one.
All right, this is gonna be a good one. I was lying before. This is a good one.
This one I spent $2.15 on.
It's the 15 cents that's gonna get you there.
Rare.
Rare. Okay, we got a
Oh,
rare. There we go. There we
there
go.
we
All
go.
right. Let's hope
All right,
for some good cards here.
Travis Kelsey.
Jalen. Ooh, we
Jalen.
like Jalen Warren.
I like Jalen Warren. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, this right here is going to be Ken Laporta.
Ryan Tannehill. Who's
See, I forget.
Where's Ryan Tannehill? I forgot.
Who knows?
Who knows? Oh, wait, hold on.
I can use him to burn. I can use him to craft.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You need the quarterbacks. He is a free agent. He hasn't signed with anyone, which is surprising. You would think that he'd be a QB2. It seems like he'd be a solid backup somewhere.
All
Maybe
right,
he's just biding his time for an injury or something.
All right, right here. Let's see what we got.
AJ Brown.
I'll take AJ Brown. That'd be great.
Oh, that could be really good, man. In an elite contest, when not if, but when he's going to take over, he will. That will be good. I like you got two Steelers here. So
I should hold on to that card, not use it to craft. You're saying?
Yeah, I like you're not going to be able to play it week 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4, but I think come October or late October, I think you're going to be able to use it. There you go. Wow, you made your money back. There you go. So top offer 3. You could probably sell it for $6, $7, maybe a little bit more.
Tannehill might get $1 for.
So that one card, that Fields card, made up for every pack you bought.
Right. Right. $6 and change between the 3 packs.
Yeah.
Right. So not bad. I've been buying up. I've been looking at I got a Higgins Lee. I got this Ayuk rare card I got for $2.05. I got a James Conner rare that I got for $1 something. I got this Mahomes rare for $6.60.
That Bijan, that's a rookie debut card, so that's technically 2024,
right?
So that's pretty cool.
So I basically just been making offers. I think one of the keys that I've been doing is at any given time I've got $100 worth of offers out there at least, if not more, on all kinds of rare cards and stuff. So I'm trying to think. Like right now, I got 13 offers out, which is actually pretty small for me. I got a bunch expiring in the next day or 2 here, but I basically just make a bunch of offers. Like I'll just go in every day or every couple of days and just say, okay, anything that looks like it's like slightly underpriced, I'll just make a decent offer, 30%, 40% below the listing price, and then just go in and make like. So I think I made like one day last week, I made like 25 offers, and like 6 of them got accepted.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, something I like to do is when a card first appears on the market, there's a chance the person who's trying to sell this card needs the money, and so they'll just accept any offer. And so I'll just make an offer that's like 50% off or something, or something close to it, and I'll set it for one day. And like sometimes I'll just like if they don't sell it to me within like 3 or 4 hours, I'll just take it off. Just because I don't know. I just want to put the money elsewhere. But that's something I've been doing. It's like I just look at the new cards that come out. Like I sort by newest on the market. And I think that like someone's like there was this. I know you're not a golf fan, but there's a golfer named Siwoo Kim who's I think he's the 34th top golfer in the world according to on the PGA Tour. According to the FedEx Cup standings, his legendary card was going for like $400 or $500, and someone put on the market for $380, and I just made an offer for like $220, and like I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up, I looked at my email, and it was accepted. I was like, I did not think I was going to get that. So that tends to happen sometimes.
Yep, I've been doing that with the new rookies. Just making lots and lots of offers. Just. Yeah, you never know who might need what. So
yeah, that's definitely true. So yeah, I encourage everyone to try Rainmakers. They're probably going to have the free packs for as an offer in the coming weeks. They haven't announced it yet. They haven't designated who the superstars are going to be. I actually was going to like try to pick your brain on like to see who you thought the superstars are going to be for the Rainmakers. I think that'd be a fun topic for next week or something. So, yeah, we can get into that later. Sue says if Love holds out, Packers should sign Tannehill. Love is trying to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL or something, from what I heard.
It's the way the NFL goes. I mean,
yeah, he has the potential. Yeah. So
even if you're mediocre, even if you're average or mediocre, like you're gonna like even like a mediocre quarterback's gonna make $50 million a year. Like that's now the going rate.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Thanks especially to John Sanders of the 411 Super Chat. Really appreciate it, John. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow with Andy Isco talking about NFL futures. So yeah, I can't wait for that. And then Saturday, we're gonna have Tom on. Hopefully, Tom will be able to watch season 4, episode 1 and 2 of Game of Thrones. That is the Purple Wedding is season 4, episode 2 is. Pretty monumental episode, so I can't wait to get Tom's reaction to that. But yeah, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. Kenny, anything to plug? Maybe your website. Let's pull it up here.
Yeah, if people want to check out thecapIsFake.com. There's some good fantasy content on there. There's stuff about the salary cap and lots of fun articles if anyone's interested. Check it out, thecapIsFake.com.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Once again, guys, really appreciate it, and have a good night, and talk to you later.